gluten-free wonton soup with Thuy own touch. Bon appétit, everyone! Let's make the wonton soup broth. A big amount of chicken carcasses and plenty of water, enough to cover the bones. Place over maximum heat and bring to boil without the lid. Skim the broth to get it nice and clear. In my experience, organic meat and bones tend to create much less waste than non-organic ones. Super! Now, bring down the heat to midway between minimum and medium settings. Rinse vigorously 23 grams of shiitake mushrooms in water for 30 seconds, then add it to the broth. Then 20 grams of auricula judea mushrooms that you would previously rinse the same way. 50 grams of dried shrimps. Rinse and shake vigorously in water for 30 seconds. Half teaspoon of organic cane sugar. 3 ounces of nucmam. 2 fresh medium onions, peeled off and partially cut in half. Wow! Here's a small but useful trick to get a clear broth. It's to partially cover. Use a pair of wooden chopsticks to hold the lid. Or, for less evaporation, use one chopstick this way. Let the broth simmer for about 1 hour and a half. You can then skim the layer of fat or foam as needed. But this broth is still very clean, so I can skip that step. The making of the gluten-free wonton balls. The use of a food processor with its S-shaped chopping blades or a high-powered blender is required to really shred raw meat. You need 132 grams of fresh shrimps, peeled and deveined, half teaspoon of nucmam, 1 1/4 teaspoon of sesame oil, 145 grams of organic minced pork, pepper to taste, Let's see how much shredded we need for the making of these tasty wonton balls. Scrape and shred again. Here's what it should look like. Homogeneous consistency. Divide into 20 to 24 pieces. Then coat your hands with oil to form nice and smooth round balls. We also like them to be compact. You can also adjust the size if needed. Yoo-hoo! Done! Let's cook them. Try to approximate the total volume of these wonton balls. Prepare the diluted broth to poach our ingredients. The total volume of this diluted broth has to equal double the total volume of the meatballs. 50% of water and 50% of your wonton broth. Once the boiling point is reached, first, slightly cook 5 cups of choy sums or bok choy that you would have previously washed and cut 5 to 8 centimeters long. Adding fish sauce. Cook them al dente. Put on a plate and set aside. You see how bright green they still are? Keep the broth boiling for the cooking of the wonton balls. Only when all the balls are floating, wait 4 more minutes, then immediately drain them. Add this poaching broth to the main wonton broth base. The dressing of each wonton soup bowl. Place every bowl side by side on a kitchen counter. Fill 1/3 of every bowl with noodles. Of course, you can use the 0-calorie and gluten-free miracle noodles. Or, for those not having any issues with gluten, I would then highly suggest low-carbs Kendra International noodles. 3 to 4 slices of star anise glazed roast pork with Thuy Hang's own touch, another recipe also available. 4 to 5 freshly made and warm wonton balls. Some choy sums on the side like this. The 2 varieties of mushrooms and dry shrimps directly from the broth. Just search a little bit. Sprinkle a tablespoon of sliced green onions. Only when the broth is at a rapid boil, use a big deep ladle to pour the broth. Whoops! I forgot the hard-boiled egg. Some fresh coriander, fresh lemon or lime juice, and of course, the final countdown. Oh, no, I'm sorry. The final garnishing step, 1 to 2 tablespoons of sesame oil, a must, M-U-S-T, for this soup.